Okay, welcome to this video tutorial on how to build your very own line tracing car. Now congratulations, because that means you would have finished your ALP course, so well done to you. Okay, so first off, straight out of the bag, we're going to have motors, the main board, batteries, nuts and bolts, and the motor holders. Those are the L-shaped thingies, and of course a set of wheels. Okay, so we're going to start off with the main board. You're going to see that there are two sides to this. How it works is that we're going to have the battery holder facing up. That's going to be the top of your line tracing car. And so we're first going to attach the motors. Now you'll see that there are the silhouettes, the white shaped things. That's how the motor should be placed. And one thing to take note after you place it, just to check that the white spindle is facing outwards. Okay, so that's how it should look. We're going to put the motor holders in right now. Just a note, please align the two holes of the motor holders with the holes on the motor. Slide in a long screw like so, and you're going to want to take a nut, and we are going to tighten the nut over the long screw at the other end of the motor. And we will need another long screw to go into the other hole. So to really secure the motor, repeat the same thing for the other hole, and if you need to, use a screwdriver to tighten it like how I did. And that's it. That's one motor done. So of course a car needs two motors, so we're going to do the same for the other motor. And that's it. Through the power and the magic of video editing, we have our motors on like so. So the next thing is we are going to want to connect the wires. You can see that each motor will have two wires, one brown one and one red one. Okay, so look for the wires right now. I'm going to give you a close-up image like this. Yeah, and so what we want to do is that we want to take the bottom wire, and that should be the brown wire, and we are going to designate that as the negative wire. So we're going to put the negative wires into the negative terminal like so. Be careful not to bend the terminal. It's just a thin metal wire sticking out, so make sure you put it in firmly but carefully. Repeat the same for the other motor. So next we're going to do the positive wire, the red wire. So that's going to designate the positive, and do the same for both. So the positive goes into the red wire, and do the same for both like so. Okay, so there you have it. Now the wires for the motors are now connected. Congratulations. Hopefully you didn't snap off any of the metal holders. And right now, okay, before we go on to the wheels, check that when you look at a wheel, there are two sides to the wheel. Look for the one with the notch and not this one. Okay, the notch like that. And we are going to snap the notch in onto the white spindle, and we need to secure that with a screw. So put in a screw, take a screwdriver and screw it in like this. Repeat the steps for the other wheel, and you're going to need the screws. Please make sure you don't lose the screws or drop them on the floor. They are very small, easily lost. Okay, and there we have it. The two wheels are attached. Now you realize that it's still pretty unsteady. It seems to be like bending down like an old man. So this is what we need, this big long screw. Identify the hole in front, slide it in, and we are going to put a nut and screw it all the way till it touches the main board. And you're going to want to tighten it a little bit, because we don't really want this long screw to move. Yeah, so same thing, use a screwdriver if you need to really tighten up that nut. And I'm just adjusting the wires a little bit, make sure nothing is bent. Yeah, and following which we are going to want to attach one more nut. This is a closed nut, and this is what's going to be resting on the table. And there we have it. Yeah, that's our completed line tracing car. But of course, power. So take your 2 batteries. Batteries should be included. If they are not, go buy them from NTUC. They are very cheap. So I'm going to assume at this point in time that you know what are the positive and negative ends, how to connect the batteries. Once you've done that, click on the power button and voila. But you realize that only one side of the wheel is moving, the other is not. So what we have to do is we have to calibrate it. Yeah, so you need to take a small screwdriver and tune the resistance, in this case on the right side because the right wheel is not moving. Tune it until you get the sweet spot between the 2 wheels, and once you're able to get the 2 wheels running, and which I think we just did, a little bit more, no, I think it's good. Yep, and there we go. You have completed your line tracing car. Congratulations.